I have a question about this when I was driving a couple days ago in the cities on 94. So there was an ambulance, and I think 94, this was when it was it was a four lane, and there was an ambulance way in the back. At what point do you have to pull over? Because I could see them, but it didn't feel like they were catching me. And then nobody was pulling over. I mean, if you see lights, should you pull over right away and just clear the road?
I think the minute that you see lights, because you really don't know what that speed piece is, and it depends on kind of what vehicle it is. If it's an ambulance or a fire truck, it's going to take maybe a little bit of while to get up to you. We always just say that when you see it, start moving over to your right. If you can't get over to your right and there is that left shoulder, then move over to your left to allow for some sort of open lane to get that whatever, that ambulance, that police car. Police cars are going to get to you a little bit faster in that gap control, whereas ambulances and fire trucks and stuff like that maybe take a little bit of time. But we always tell people just to start trying to move over right away.
And do they have to move over completely, like stop completely, or just slow down?
I mean, in an ideal, I think it's move over and stop, but that becomes difficult in road settings, right? 94, that's tough to do, right? And so I think that the farther you can get to each side onto that shoulder and start minimizing your speed is ideal for us. I mean, it makes it a little bit difficult, right, on the highway setting to come to a complete stop from 65 or 70 miles an hour, right? And then have to start back up again. There's always that traffic congestion that happens. So we kind of know that we're just trying to we're just trying to get a clear path, right? And I'm glad you brought it up, because we also want that, if it's not a divided highway, we want that left lane traffic or that opposite direction traffic to pull over as well, because of I can't count how many times where somebody's moved over to the right and for whatever reason they come back over hard to the left, and we're, as in a squad car, we're averting that collision,
right,
and maybe unfortunately having to take the oncoming traffic lane. So it's important to know, like on 95 is extremely important, because if we don't get that opposite direction travel pulling over as well, it creates for a little bit of a narrow space there in some of those areas where their shoulders aren't very big.
Do you like driving fast? On chases?
What's funny?
It just gives me anxiety thinking about it.
I feel like when I've gotten older to the age of, I mean, I don't think, I'm sure you could ask 1,000 officers and you're going to get a pretty hefty percentage of saying that they're okay with it, right? It is nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
There's you got to know, for our department, we have assigned squads to our officers, and it's important that we do that because, and most departments do that because you need to understand the limitations of each car. Every car is different. Every squad car is different. And so, we want to get there as fast as possible, but we also got to do it in a safe way, but we also got to get there, right? It doesn't do us any good if we put a squad car up in the Tules because we were going too fast for the road conditions. And so, a lot of it is just developing maturity on the job. I think for me, I've been an officer for a long time. I always laugh. I know you do too. But we have times where people go flying by you, right? Like you're driving on the highway and somebody goes by you at 15 miles an hour faster, right? And I'll give you the perfect example. And then you get to the Zimmerman lights and they're right there next to you.
Yeah. Like,
right?
Okay.
It really, if you think about it, there's some statistics out there that passing somebody 7, 8, 9, 10 miles an hour is not getting you there that much faster. It's just increasing the risk of getting into an accident, and then now you're really delayed. Or let's just hypothetically say you get stopped by a police officer. Now you're really delayed.
Yep.
Right? Because now that traffic stop's going to take 7, 8, 9 minutes, and that puts you behind. So, yeah.
How many deer do you guys hit around this area with your squad cars that people are like?
I got to find some wood so I can knock on it. We knock on wood. We haven't had any in the last year. It happens. It's frequent.
Yeah.
Between the county and state patrol, everybody always asks. We have those wraps that go around the front of the bumpers that are like the bars, right? Well, that's just to push cars out of the way and pit people. It really is all about the little minor fender benders that we have occur, or deer hits. It takes away damaging the car. I can replace one of those bars much quicker and faster than replacing the whole front end of a squad car. So, but we've had a few. It happens. And now it becomes that time of the year, right, where it's getting warmer out and the deer are going to start running and stuff like that. But yeah, I would be willing to bet for the Mille Lacs County, it's probably, maybe 7 to 12 a year, all department wise, everybody from tribal all the way down to Princeton. So
That's still a lot.
yeah, and it's not fun, right?
No.
You're going to especially when you're going to a call. Mm-hmm. Then you got to get on the radio and start a supervisor and tow truck. That always creates for laughter. if
Well,
everybody sees.
were you thinking of that video that came out of, was it Isanti or? Don't know what that is.
His phone.
That was my wife calling.
Yeah, where that officer was going like 100 down 95 on a call.
Yeah.
And then that deer just
Turns into
basically blew up.
hamburger.
Yeah. It's I've had one a long time ago, and it's what do you do? I think
scary.
I had more of my personal vehicle, right? But yeah, it's especially when you're trying to get to a call.
Yeah.
I mean, it creates a problem, right? Because we want to get there, we want to help people. And, there's nothing worse than an officer having to call dispatch and say, I need somebody else to go because I'm now out.
Right.
So, yeah.